Hello, welcome to the My Child Safety Zone. I'm your host, Chanel Swain, child safety advocate and founder of EndChildMolestation.com, where our goal is to combat child sexual abuse through education. On the site, we offer the My Child Safety Coloring and Activity Book Set, a 2-book set designed to act as a dialogue initiation tool, which is to help adults produce a discussion regarding child sexual abuse. The set teaches both children and adults how to detect, prevent, and report abuse. Each set comes with a coloring book for the child, abuse prevention guide for the child's caregiver, box of crayons, and is available in boys or girls edition. Please be mindful that this is a violence prevention lesson and not sexual education. So grab the little ones and let's learn some powerful info. Remember, knowledge is power. So you ask, why is it important to teach children about sexual abuse? Great question. The answer is, most children are naturally reluctant to refuse the demands of an adult, especially someone they know and trust. 90% of children who are sexually abused are abused by someone within their social circle. Therefore, unless we teach them how to detect danger and respond to it, they will be totally unprepared and unaware of how to respond if someone makes a sexual advance towards them.
What is child molestation? When an adult person or person significantly older than a child engages in sexual activity with a minor. The abuse can be over a period of time or a one-time incident and includes touching, fondling, kissing, oral sex, etc. A typical molester will abuse between 30 to 60 victims. Did you know that most children who are sexually abused are abused by a family member or family acquaintance? Studies show that stranger danger, by comparison, is quite rare. Child sexual abuse has been reported up to 80,000 times per year, but the unreported instances are far greater because children are afraid to tell anyone. It is estimated that at least 2 out of every 10 girls and 1 out of 10 boys are sexually abused by the end of their 13th year of life. A child who is the victim of prolonged sexual abuse usually develops low self-esteem, a feeling of worthlessness, and abnormal or distorted perception of sex. It can also lead to alcoholism, substance abuse, prostitution, and suicide.
Now, let's talk about good and bad touching. A good touch can be a handshake, a hug, a high five, or a pat on the back. A bad touch can be when someone touches any of your private areas. Any touch that makes you feel weird. That means even a touch that you usually think is okay can be bad if it makes you feel uncomfortable. Your body is your own personal space. No one has the right to touch your body without your permission. You have the right to say, no, stop, or please do not touch me. Your body belongs to you. We all have a little voice inside that speaks to us when we are about to face danger. Please listen to that little voice inside and tell an adult if someone makes you feel uncomfortable or weird. Now, let's talk about secrets. Secrecy is a major issue regarding child sexual abuse and is one of the main reasons that abuse continues and is allowed to claim more victims. We must teach our children about the danger in keeping bad touching a secret. Teach your child that they will not be in any kind of trouble for telling on someone who touches them in a bad way. A person who touches a child in a bad way is called a tricky person, also known as a child molester. Tricky people trick children into keeping abuse a secret by telling the child things like, "You will get in trouble if you tell. Everyone will be mad at me. I'm going to hurt you or your parents if you tell." Please, teach your child to never believe a tricky person and never keep a secret for a tricky person. To be clear, let's talk about good secrets versus bad secrets. A good secret to keep is a surprise birthday party, a Christmas gift. A bad secret to keep is when someone touches your private areas or makes you touch theirs. When someone threatens you. Great. Now you understand a good secret versus a bad secret. Remember, kids, never keep a bad secret. If someone touches you in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable or weird, please tell your parents or an adult, or call 911 and tell the operator. Here are some facts about child molestation. Like rape, child molestation is one of the most underreported crimes. Only 1 to 10% of crimes are ever reported. 1 in 5 violent offenders serving time in state prison reported having victimized a child. The profile of a tricky person. Typically, the abuser is extremely likable, unassuming, and kind. This behavior usually gains the trust of the parent or caregiver and ultimately the child. They come from all walks of life. Some are married, some single, some professional, some blue collar, some young, some old. Some prefer boys and some prefer girls. Some are attracted to young children and others to older children. Very few tricky people are able to resist their powerful urges to initiate sexual contact with a child. As a result, tricky people often make efforts to gain access to or authority over children. They take jobs where children are easily approachable, or they actively pursue youngsters by befriending parents, particularly single parents, attending events for children, coaching children's sports, chaperoning camping trips, frequenting video arcades, or by offering babysitting services. Please beware. Warning signs. The younger the child, the more difficult it is to determine if your child has been or is being molested. Unless you witness it or someone admits it, it is likely that you will never know if your child is being abused. This means the safety of our little ones is heavily reliant on our ability to be aware. What should I do if I discover my child has been abused? Number 1, stay calm. You don't want to further alarm the child. Your reaction will play a key role in your child's healing. Call the police immediately. Do not take matters into your own hands and never confront the molester yourself. How do we prevent and end child molestation? Great question. Let's begin by having open and consistent conversations with our children about appropriate and inappropriate touch. Teach children that respecting adults or authority figures does not mean blind obedience. For example, never tell your children to do everything the babysitter tells him or her to do and then explain why. Lastly, listen to your child. Never disregard an allegation of sexual abuse. Please investigate the matter. Beware, tricky people typically prey on children who are loners, neglected or unsupervised, and unaware. Tricky people use what is referred to as the affection lure. The affection lure is to seduce unsuspecting youngsters in need of love and attention. Most victims of abuse are groomed over a period of time. Most child abuse happens at the hand of someone the child knows and trusts. When there is a physically or emotionally absent parent in the picture, it makes the child more vulnerable than ever. So again, please be aware. Child Safety Lesson Overview. No touching. Encourages self-esteem by teaching that no one should inappropriately touch a child. Your body. Teaches body awareness by demonstrating physical guidelines. Warning sign. Teaches about intuition and the importance of trusting your inner voice. Liar, liar. Warns of the lies that tricky people use to manipulate victims. Secrets. Teaches why secrecy can be very dangerous and that it is important to tell if anyone assaults or attempts to assault your child. Break the silence. Children learn who to tell if ever abused. Good touch, bad touch. Provides examples of good touching and bad touching. Private areas. Teaches that all areas on the body should be considered private areas. Reinforcement time. The remaining portion of the workbook is filled with fun activities that help to build confidence and reinforce learned material. Remember, children are counting on us to keep them safe. Visit endchildmolestation.com today.